Hello, everyone. Linda Wilson here from Learn to Transcribe Academy. I have the pleasure of having Mr. Scott Klein back with me. He's done an interview. Hi, Scott.
Hi,
How are you
Linda. How
today?
are you? Good.
Good.
How are you?
Doing great. Thanks. Scott has done an interview with me in the past. He's the graduate of my legal transcription training at Learn to Transcribe Academy. And so I wanted to bring him back. And we have a lot of questions about money. How much money can you
Yeah.
make? Is it really worth it to do this, to go put
Yeah.
yourself through all this training and expense? And Scott feels like he can kind of shed some light on that because he's been out
Yeah.
working in the field now for a while. And so go ahead, Scott, and just take over and tell the people whatever you want to say. Okay.
Yes. So this is definitely the subject that I was probably the most interested in, had the most questions about when I first came into the industry. I didn't really, it was a little bit unclear how the money situation would play out. But one thing that I've kind of thought back on in retrospect is it has a lot to do with your personal situation and what your income goals are. So like for context, I'm speaking from the perspective of someone who's young and single. I have no spouse, I have no children, no dependents, but I also have no other income in the household except myself. So when I was looking for a job and when I had come across this job, I knew that I needed to make the most of it and become self-sufficient. And so fortunately, like my instincts were correct. I was able to do that. I took the Learn to Transcribe course, and I feel like it gave me a lot of knowledge about the industry and how to prepare for this kind of job, even though I had no experience with it. It was a steep learning curve, but I really took it to heart and I took all the feedback and I got better. And so when I started with the company that I'm currently working for, and we can probably talk about them in a little bit as well, I quickly moved up and I was quickly improving my transcripts. And essentially, it came down to it wasn't necessarily about the quality of my work. It was just about getting certain workflow and preference things right with my client, so that I could move up in pay. And that has been going really well. So I'm able to be self-sufficient with my job because I work hard for it.
Great. So at the end of the month, you are able to pay all of your bills by
Yeah,
doing legal transcription with no other money
yeah,
coming in your household. That's great.
that's
So
correct. That's
let
correct.
me,
I think that, oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
now you go ahead.
I was going to say some people are doing legal transcription as a full-time job, and some people are not treating it as a full-time job. And it really comes down to your situation. Are you a single person? Do you have kids that you're taking care of? Do you have another person in the house who's making income? There's some people who have a spouse or a family and people with other jobs, and so they might look for, to be able to make a supplemental income. So they might not be working full-time hours. On the other hand, I work an average of about 7 hours on a working day because I'm treating this like a full-time job. So it really is a matter of delineating what kind of hours you're putting in for your work and how efficiently you can do the work.
Do you work 5 days a week or do you work on weekends too?
Well, it kind of depends what days that I take off. Sometimes I take one weekday off and one day on the weekend off.
Mhm.
Sometimes I'll work 6 days a week. It's like 5 to 6 usually. And it also is like some days I work for fewer hours to kind of give myself a half day off. I'm very flexible with it.
Well, that's the good thing about this. You can kind of work your own schedule. You don't have anybody micromanaging you, and you just know
Yeah,
when the deadline is, and you work around that. And just as long as you meet your deadlines, you're fine. Well,
exactly. I have things in my personal life that I kind of schedule around so that I'm able to check all of the boxes. And I'm very conscientious about deadlines as well.
mhm.
I'm fortunate to be working as a contractor with a company who's very clear about when things need to come in, and there's a pretty steady supply of work. So I'm able to pick and choose.
That's good. Well, how
Yeah.
long do you think, just generally speaking, it took you to recoup the cost of your training with me?
That's a good question. So after I finished the training and I passed your exam, you had put me in touch with an apprenticeship, which is, I'm not really an apprentice anymore. I'm just like working there. So it kind of was a transition. But when I first started working there, I was on the bottom pay bracket because that's how you start out as a newcomer. And I had very light hours because I was very thorough to check everything before I turned it in. And I still recouped the cost of my training in like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, maybe at the most. And that was not even working close to the amount of hours that I am able to do now.
Right.
So
So
people can do it
say
faster if they're able to work really fast.
that's
It's up to
exactly
you.
right. Some people have recouped it in a week or two, some people a month,
Oh
but
yeah, yeah,
you can recoup it fast. And then after you do, everything else is profit. I mean, you're set up for
yeah,
a career. And I'm,
yeah.
I'm glad you found that to be the same thing. Everybody else has said the same exact thing.
Yeah, I think it's like definitely smart to do a lot of planning around finances with this job. You need to kind of have an estimate of, okay, how many pages can I realistically type in a week as a beginner? And then you'll eventually see that you're getting better and you'll increase and you'll be able to bring in more money. The way I did it was I set myself little goals. So when I reached like a certain number or dollar figure or whatever, I was like, okay, I'll invest in something for my setup. I'll buy myself a new keyboard. I'll buy myself a new office chair. And then that kind of motivated me to stay on track and hit my benchmarks while also benefiting me with investing in things from my work. So
I think
it's been a really good experience doing that.
I think that was a very smart idea. Well, Scott, unless you have anything else to say, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. I really appreciate your
I think
time.
that's all. I talk a lot, so
Oh, that's okay. That's all right. I do too. But I appreciate you
yeah,
so much coming in and talking with everybody about your
yeah,
money. I know you can't go into
yeah,
specific figures or anything. We're not going to do that, but just overall, the
yeah. I'm not
recap.
comfortable doing that.
Oh, no. The
Yeah,
recap is that this can be done and a person could support themselves, and you're living proof of that. And of course,
yeah,
people get into, well, it depends on where he lives and how much his rent is and all that. And I guess that could be true too.
yeah.
Uh,
It's a factor. Yeah.
but are you living in a high income area where like high rent or whatever? Do you know?
I do know a little bit about that. The area of the country I live in is fairly low cost of living, but I also pay for a private apartment. I don't have any roommates and I don't have any family to split the rent with. So I guess it's a mixed bag. I'm living in a slightly more expensive living arrangement for the area, but the area is not too bad. So
Well,
middle
that's
of the
good.
road.
Yeah. Well, thanks again, Scott. I appreciate it, and I'll
Yeah.
let you go and get back to your day. We really,
Yeah. I
really,
really
really,
appreciate your time.
well, I really thank you for coming in and doing this
Yeah.
recap for us. Thanks. Okay,
No
bye.
problem. Bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.